This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6 o'clock, they tried to hold him up in an extremely vulnerable place. A man who was indisposed when bandits broke into his house fought back.
More safety measures on a busy trail. What one city is doing to try to get runners and walkers to stop in areas where cars have the right-of-way.
And we may still be in the middle of summer, but it's already time for football. Coming up, a live preview as the Colts head to camp. It is 6 o'clock here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for waking up early with us here at RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen joining us. You've had it easy this week when it comes to the weather.
I know. I was telling Alyssa this morning, I was like, I'm getting kind of bored.
Don't think that.
There's just not a lot to talk about. I feel like a broken record here talking about sunshine and low humidity, but there will be some changes now as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. So if I'm bored, that's good for you. That means you got great weather. You get outside and you can enjoy. What do you need before you go? Well, I haven't changed this all week. Sunglasses are needed from start to finish. You do not need the umbrella or the rain boots. And of course, you could drink plenty of water anytime. 62 in Indy right now, 57 though in Richmond. Crawfordsville, you were a cool spot yesterday morning when you got down into the upper 40s. You're at 51 right now. It's 56 in Bloomington, so kind of that September-like feel this morning compared to the middle of July. The sky's just now starting to brighten here as you look to the right-hand side of your screen, and it'll be a sun-filled day for us from start to finish here with high pressure firmly in control. But as this high starts to slide off towards the east and the clockwise flow around the high, we'll start to bring in more of a southerly wind, and that's first going to increase our temperatures. I think you'll notice that a little bit here this afternoon. The humidity stays low for the day today, but that humidity is what comes back for the weekend. But for your Thursday here, 77 by the noon hour, on our way up to a high temperature this afternoon of 84 degrees. The time now, 6:02. Let's get a look at traffic on this Thursday morning.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. This is I-465 and Pendleton Pike on the northeast side. Traffic here is moving smoothly northbound and southbound. The good news right now for your morning commute is there are no crashes around the metro area, but of course we're keeping a close eye on things. We'll keep you updated on any delays. At 6:02, the National Urban League Conference is underway right here in Indianapolis.
It's the first time in 25 years the Circle City has played host for the conference. Our Alyssa Donovan is here this morning. And Alyssa, what does it mean to have this national conference right here in Indianapolis?
So it's actually a pretty big deal. The goal of this event is to empower change and spread ideas and solutions to urban challenges in communities across the country. The president and CEO of the Indianapolis Urban League says he wants the conference to benefit our city in a big way. The Urban League held a kickoff party yesterday for the start of the conference. Much of the event will take place at the Indiana Convention Center. The civil rights organization works to promote social and economic equality to African Americans and other minorities. Conference events are expected to cover voter and election interference, as well as other concerns communities are dealing with.
Issues facing urban communities and regions across the country. We're all dealing with everything from high unemployment to violence, crime, poor quality schools. We're dealing with health disparities. And so we're able to come together, share information, learn, figure out how to collaborate so that we can go back to all of our respective communities to address these challenges that we're facing.
Several events are on the agenda, including panel discussions, workshops, health screenings, and more. The lineup of speakers includes several presidential hopefuls: Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Bill de Blasio, Cory Booker, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar are among the Democratic candidates scheduled to speak at the event. Now, the conference, which runs through Sunday, is expected to bring 20,000 people into the Circle City. Registration for the conference is still open.
Alyssa, thank you. This morning, police across Indiana want to know if you have seen this woman. 61-year-old Pamela Marie Dybzinski was reported missing from Fort Wayne. Police say she was last seen around noon on Tuesday. Pamela is 5'6", around 140 pounds, with gray hair and blue eyes. Police say she normally wears glasses. If you think you've seen her, you should call Fort Wayne Police at the number on your screen, 260-427-1222.
This morning, police are looking for two suspects accused of trying to rob a man while they sat on the toilet. Officers were called out to Columbia Street in Lafayette Sunday afternoon. The victim says two people kicked in his front door and they found him in an upstairs bathroom and pointed a gun at him. Well, the man says that he knew the gun was fake, so he grabbed it and then fell down the stairs with the would-be robber. Both suspects ran away, and the homeowner did not suffer any serious injuries.
A man caught on home surveillance camera may be behind a string of thefts in Hamilton County. The sheriff's office posted this video to social media. Deputies are investigating thefts from vehicles and a burglary in the northwest part of the county. This is all happening along Hinesley Road, Mule Barn Road, Jerkwater Road, and State Road 38. The crimes happened between midnight and 7 o'clock Wednesday morning.
At 6:05, work is underway to improve safety on a busy section of the Monon Trail after a car hit and killed a person who was walking. The stop signs at 161st Street and the Monon in Westfield now have flashing lights around them. The deadly crash at the crossing earlier this month has raised some safety concerns in the area. Many people on the trail do not stop before crossing the street, and they don't realize that the cars actually have the right of way.
People will step right out in front of the car. I mean, that's crazy. Because I'm so aware of it, because I ride and drive through this area, because I live up here, I give everybody a lot of room.
But we ask every pedestrian that's using the trail itself, before you cross, make sure that it's clear to do that. Our #1 goal here in the city of Westfield and throughout, I would say throughout the country, is to make sure that trail users are safe.
Westfield is also planning to make a major change to improve safety, installing a tunnel under 161st Street. It's expected to cost around $5.5 million.
This school year, Noblesville is adding something new to help keep students safe. The district says funding from a referendum that passed last year will be used to pay for safety dogs. 3 Labrador retrievers and their handlers will be used for all schools. The dogs are trained to detect the scent of guns. This is just one part of the district's overall safety plan. It's been in the spotlight after a student shot a classmate and teacher at Noblesville West Middle School in May of last year. It is 6:06 and we're getting ready for football season. The boys of fall are back on the field starting today for Colts camp, and those players are getting ready for training over the next few weeks. Our Aaron Lish is live in Westfield with what fans can expect to see. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, so we're in Colt City. This opens up at 1 o'clock. We have Steve Campbell here with us. Come on up. What are we in right now?
This is Colts in Motion, which is the team's traveling mobile museum. And so this makes appearances all around the state at festivals and carnivals and different events. And it's a chance for Colts fans to have a little piece of the stadium, a little piece of the Colts when they're here up at training camp.
Yeah, it's really neat actually seeing their actual shoes, their uniforms that these guys have actually worn.
Absolutely. There is memorabilia in here where I'm looking at this uniform from T.Y. Hilton. This is all game-worn stuff, authentic. These are the things that these players wore on the field. And so, you know, we want to get fans as close to these items as possible because they're very cool. And it's great for families to be able to see them and experience them.
Exactly. And you guys had the video games, and you were pointing this out. Tell me a little bit about this. I think you were saying this is your favorite thing.
Well, this, of course, is the Anvil. This is a new tradition we started a couple years ago at the stadium, where we have a different celebrity or former Colt come in and they bang the anvil to get the crowd going at the beginning, and it symbolizes that everything is Colts forged. And so this is a great addition to game day, and we hope people can come here and take a little picture in front of this green screen here.
This is so neat. This is free to come out to, so it's an amazing opportunity for not only those big fans, but the whole entire family. And I know that you can sign up online to get that ticket and come out for opening day. We're all excited.
Colts.com/camp, and people can download their free ticket. It's free to attend training camp, but download your ticket so you can get in and have a great time.
And of course, wearing your Colts blue.
Absolutely. Everyone should be wearing Colts blue all around the state of Indiana all the time anyway.
All right, thanks so much. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Aaron. The weather for training camp, by the way, if you are heading up there, is going to be terrific later on this afternoon. If you're not heading to training camp, no matter where you are across central Indiana, the weather is in tip-top shape. So let's get you out the door this morning. It's a little on the cool side. We're in the 50s and 60s right now, but look how quickly we warm as the morning progresses. By the time we get to 10 a.m., we're looking at a temperature of 72 degrees. By the time we get to your lunch hour, we're looking at a temperature right around 77 with mostly sunny skies. So get outside for lunch. Even if you take your lunch to work and you normally eat it at work, go find a park bench or somewhere outside maybe to eat your lunch instead of staying inside, because it'll be terrific. Highs today, a touch warmer than they have been the past few mornings. 82 into the north in Tipton, about 82 to 83 degrees in southern locations. And around the metro area, temperatures will be running just a tick warmer in the metro area. Indianapolis at 84 compared to 82 in Zionsville. But all in all, a very, very nice Thursday for us. We'll talk more about that weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The special counsel's testimony may not have changed some minds, but up next, it appears to have moved one member of Congress from Indiana towards calling for impeachment. Plus, it's time to get back to the basics if you're looking for a new job or maybe a better job. Next in Hiring Hoosiers, some advice from our career coach that never goes out of style. Time right now is 6:10. We're keeping a close eye on your roads as well this Thursday morning. Here's a live look in that construction zone to our north, I-65 at 30th Street. In the northbound lanes, you'll have to stay over into the left 2 lanes to avoid those orange barrels. We'll continue to keep a close eye out for any delays and keep you updated. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, Kroger, Kings Island. It's amazing in here.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:13, and here's a live look at your drive along I-74 to our southeast. This is at Afton Road. Traffic here is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. The good news for your morning commute on this Thursday, no crashes to report in the area. We'll continue to keep a close eye out, though, and keep you updated. Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative here at RTV6 to find you a new job, maybe a better job, and help you be ready when you're out looking for work.
Today, our Hiring Hoosiers career coach says regardless of your experience or skill level, it never hurts to brush up on the basics during your job search.
Employers are looking for specific skill sets and education experience. However, many employers contact us wanting basic work attributes. A local employer has recently told us we want employees to show up and not stick their hand in a machine. So this is a good time to raise your self-awareness on these skills, no matter if it's your first job or you're a seasoned, experienced worker. But we're going to go back to some basics. You need to ask yourself, do you have a strong work ethic? Do you arrive on time? And when you're at work, do you make the most of your time? Do you have the ability and willingness to learn? Do you follow directions? Are you a lifelong learner? And for a seasoned worker, are you still teachable? Communication skills, verbal, are important, but listening skills are equally, if not more important. Do you work well with others? Are you a team player? Do you show a positive attitude? Are you friendly? Are you positive and adaptable to change? And lastly, are you a problem solver? Do you think well? Are you creative? Do you use your research skills, and are you willing to take a risk? Think about your top work values and attributes and ask yourself these questions. What are your strongest attributes and why? What skills and attributes can you bring to an employer?
Our career coaches want to make sure that you succeed. If you have a question for them, send us an email at hiringhoosiers.com. Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Rafael, thank you. And don't forget, we have all of our tips from our career coaches, plus job listings and much more. Just head to hiringhoosiers.com. Time right now is 6:15. It was one of the most anticipated congressional hearings in decades. Former special counsel Robert Mueller told Congress that his investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election did not exonerate President Trump.
But Mueller refused to say much more as his testimony frustrated both Democrats and Republicans. Some Democrats saw it as a chance to build the case for impeachment, but Mueller said that his team could not indict the president because of Justice Department guidelines.
You did not indict Donald Trump is because of OLC opinion stating that you cannot indict a sitting president, correct?
That is correct.
But just a few hours later, before the House Intelligence Committee, Mueller amended that testimony.
That is not the correct way to say it. We did not reach a determination as to whether the president committed a crime.
Mueller instead repeatedly referred members of Congress to his team's 448-page report.
At 6:16, while Wednesday's hearing likely won't change too many minds of political partisans, the member of Congress who's representing Indianapolis is now calling for an impeachment inquiry. Democratic Congressman Andre Carson serves on the House Intelligence Committee that heard the special counsel. After the hearing, he issued a statement saying that Mueller's testimony concluded Russian government interfered in the 2016 election and that the Trump campaign welcomed their help. Carson also voted in favor of the articles of impeachment introduced last week by another member of Congress. New this morning, the billionaire child rape suspect Jeffrey Epstein is in a New York hospital after he was found semi-conscious in his prison cell. NBC New York reports a 66-year-old was found sprawled on the floor with injuries to his neck. Investigators say they don't know whether Epstein tried to take his own life or whether he was assaulted. Another inmate is being questioned by police. Epstein is being held after he pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking charges involving teenage girls.
Rapper Meek Mill is getting a new trial. The Pennsylvania Superior Court overturned his 2008 conviction on gun and drug charges. The court ordered the new trial largely because the only witness against Mill was a former Philadelphia police officer who later resigned from the force after allegations of theft and lying. Mill served time after a conviction for carrying a gun while walking to a store. He later served more time after he was charged with an assault which violated his probation from the conviction that has now been thrown out. 40 years ago, Monument Circle had a sticky situation, chewing gum being spit out onto the ground. The circle was fresh off a massive makeover, and the new bricks that were installed were under attack by those who just couldn't discard their double-mint gum in a trash can. Coming up at 6:30 this morning, it is our Throwback Thursday feature as RTV6's Reed Duffy spoke to the people whose job it was to get the gum off those Monument Circle bricks.
Yeah.
It is 6:18 right now, and Todd, anyone working outside these past few days has probably been very thankful for the weather we've had.
Yeah, you know, especially after last week, right, with all that heat and humidity, they needed a break, and we've got that break here, at least from the humidity and somewhat the temperatures over the past few days. Today, we inch a little bit closer to normal. Our average high is 85 degrees. Today, we should be up to right around 84 for your afternoon high, but it's going to be a very comfortable 84 because the humidity values still remain very, very low. So notice what happens, though, in the coming days. We'll kind of give you a preview, and then we'll dive into these temperatures for you. 88 for your high temperature tomorrow. Humidity still fairly low for your Friday. Then as we get into Saturday and Sunday, that is when you'll start to notice the humidity coming back up. It's going to start to get a little more uncomfortable across the area with those high temperatures climbing into the low 90s. Clear skies this morning as the sun continues to rise. Official sunrise, though, not until 6:38 here this morning. The winds are calm. The dew points are in the mid-50s. Anytime those dew points are in the 50s, you're in great shape, and that's where we stay throughout the entire day. Actual temperatures as cool as 51 right now in Logansport, 57 in Richmond, Bloomington. You're currently sitting at 56 degrees, and again, the skies are clear this morning. We'll burn off any little haze that you have out there once the sun comes up as high pressure is in control. So we have clockwise flow around an area of high pressure. That's how the air flows. So as this high starts to make its way off towards the east, we're going to turn our winds more southerly. We've been dealing with that north wind the past few days. Well, they go more southerly in the coming days, and that's what's going to bring the humidity up, and that's what's also going to start to bring the temperatures up across the area. So here's your hour-by-hour breakdown for the day today. The winds are light, generally below 10 miles per hour, 75 to about 76 degrees by the noon hour, and then high temperatures again into the low to mid 80s this afternoon. Overnight tonight, not quite as cool as it has been, but still very comfortable with lows getting back down into the 60s. And then throughout the day tomorrow, there's that temperature of 88 degrees. You notice we start in the mid 60s and end at 88 later on tomorrow afternoon. Looking ahead to your weekend planner, Saturday and Sunday, there's the 90s with the humidity coming up. It's going to feel more like 95 to 100 degrees across the area. So kind of prepare yourself for the uncomfortable weather to return. Maybe if you have to mow the lawn, get some things done out in the yard, do it today or tomorrow before we get to the weekend if possible. Rain chances return Monday and Tuesday, but at this point they just look for like some spotty storms. We actually could use a little rainfall here across the area once again, but not a whole lot in this forecast, at least for the next 7 days.
All right, Todd, thank you. We are monitoring a traffic alert a little north of this area. This is I-65 at 30th Street. Now, near 38th Street on the northwest side, we do have a crash now closing all southbound lanes of I-65 and one left lane of the northbound lanes where we have construction. So if you are traveling in from the northwest side heading southbound I-65, first of all, you don't want to get on here if you were past the dog leg because that area is closed. So just continue on the detour route on 465 to avoid I-65 altogether. But if you are in that area, you'll need to get off the interstate and reroute. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on any injuries.
All those moments will be lost in time. like tears in rain. Time to die.
Actor Rutger Hauer actually came up with the legendary final line from the movie Blade Runner himself. While that was his best-known American role, Hauer's career included films like Ladyhawke, The Hitcher, Sin City, and Batman Begins. He also founded the AIDS awareness nonprofit, the Starfish Foundation. His agent says Rutger Hauer died in his home in the Netherlands. He was 75 years old.
Well, be careful on the water. Coming up here at 6:30 on Good Morning Indiana, more on a bad accident involving a personal watercraft that sent a man to the hospital.
And it's okay to show enthusiasm for your team, right? Coming up, if you think fans of one NBA team were excited about their new free agent signees, wait till you see that team's owner. That's coming up.
Sunday at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Welcome back. A traffic alert for you right now. You should have just got an alert from us on your phone telling you that both directions of I-65 here near 38th Street are closed. This is due to a crash cleanup. Now, you'll also remember that the southbound lanes are closed up there in the dog leg for an ongoing construction project. So if you're heading in from the northwest side, trying to get downtown, just stay on I-465. The detour route, do not get back on I-65 because you'll have to get off anyways. And northbound drivers, you'll need to reroute as well. Of course, we'll continue to monitor this and let you know if there are any injuries. Well, either the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers was really excited, or perhaps he needs to switch to decaf.
We aren't sure which is the case, even after watching Steve Ballmer take over the team's press conference that was supposed to introduce new Clippers players, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, to reporters.
I have these notes, but I gotta say I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool, Woo! To say hello as Clippers to Paul and Kawhi. Come on! Get up!
That's how I get ready for the show every morning in the mirror. I'm like, come on, let's give it up for Todd and Lauren. All right. Well, the Clippers owner was so excited that when it was Kawhi's time to speak, he botched the handshake with his new star.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's how you get going in the morning.
Yeah.
He's excited.
What a way to start off the season.
Right?
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely. Well, they're excited about that. We're excited for our Pacer season to kick off.
Woo! Yeah.
All right, outside right now, it's a beautiful morning. We'll give it a 2 thumbs up today as you walk out the door. Once again, 50s and 60s. We're climbing into the mid-70s here by the noon hour with mostly sunny skies. Should be beautiful throughout the morning hours. And as we transition into the afternoon, just as nice. Still mostly sunny, still with low humidity and high temperatures ranging anywhere from about 82 to 84 degrees. The time now is 6:27. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Budget stretches further at Mattress Firm. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6:30, Avon police trying to get to the bottom of a carjacking and a shooting. The details we're learning this morning from officers.
And a warning for everyone on the water this weekend. A safety message after a person on a jet ski was seriously injured.
And football is officially back today. We're live with all the exciting action as the first day of Colts training camp gets underway this morning. It is 6:30 here on your Thursday morning. Want to note really quick that I-65 is closed on the northwest side for a crash. We're going to have all the details in just a minute.
Yeah, something you'll want to hear for certain. But first, we want to get a check at our weather with meteorologist Todd Clausen. Another bonus day ahead.
Yeah, it's a great day for us once again. Sunny skies, low humidity, starting to sound like a broken record.
That's okay.
That's not bad. Right? I guess it's not a bad thing, but that'll start to change as we work our way towards the end of the week. That was the view from downtown off to the southwest as the skies are starting to brighten. Sunrise officially here in just about 7 minutes or so. 62 degrees. That's the current temperature in Indianapolis. 51 in Crawfordsville. You've been in our cool spot all morning long. 56 in Bloomington as well as Tipton. 57. That's the current temperatures. Make your way into the Richmond area. So skies are completely clear. It's another sun-filled day for us with that bright blue sky sky. We do not have the haze or the humidity around, and that's courtesy of this area of high pressure that's still in control, giving us this nice weather. But as this high slides to the east, that's going to start to represent some changes in our forecast going forward. More of a southerly wind will increase the temperatures and the humidity as we head towards the weekend. So enjoy today. It's mostly sunny from start to finish. We'll warm through the 70s pretty quickly this morning. About 77 degrees for your lunch hour temperature, and then eventually highs today will be topping off in the low to mid 80s.
All right, Todd, we mentioned that closure on the northwest side, and here's a look at it right now from our traffic maps. Northbound and southbound I-65 closed right now between 38th Street and Lafayette Road. We can tell you that a vehicle was traveling northbound near 38th Street, ran through a median barrier wall, and now is resting on the southbound side. Injuries reported here. We have emergency crews at the scene, and again, they're closing the interstate in both directions. If you're traveling southbound on I-65 from the northwest side, don't even bother getting on the interstate here. You can see it is closed through the dogleg for construction anyways. Use I-465 to reroute. If you're heading northbound on I-65 from the downtown area, you need to get off by MLK to avoid these delays and this closure. We'll continue to monitor this. We do have a photographer, Eldon Wheeler, heading to the scene to give us an update from police.
This morning, a carjacking and shooting are under investigation in Avon. Police say the incident happened around 5:30 last night on Angelina Way. That's just off Rockville Road west of Ronald Reagan Parkway. The victim was rushed to the hospital. Police have not provided an update on that victim's condition. No word this morning on the search for a suspect.
At 6:33, a 19-year-old man is in the hospital this morning after another person landed a jet ski on top of him. This all happened Tuesday night at Morse Reservoir in Hamilton County. State conservation officers say that the 18-year-old Noblesville man used his jet ski to jump the wake of a boat, but when he went airborne, he landed on top of a 19-year-old victim. The 19-year-old suffered severe head and facial injuries. Investigators believe that alcohol was involved. They say it's against the law to jump the wake of another boat because something like this can happen.
You might want to think twice before relaxing in a hot tub. A 26-year-old Indianapolis woman says she nearly lost her leg after using a hot tub at a hotel in Tennessee. We do want to warn you, some of the pictures in this story are quite graphic. Taylor Bryant ended up in the hospital just a few days after being on vacation. Doctors told her she may have folliculitis. Doctors say that the infection came from time spent in the hotel hot tub, and shaving her legs may have more easily allowed the bacteria into her body. When she got back to Indianapolis, she was given more antibiotics, but after 10 days, nothing changed, and she ended up with a wound, and an infection specialist had to admit her to the hospital.
My husband even asked, he goes, are we talking like we're going to be able to fight this off? Are we talking about amputation? They were like, there's nothing that we can promise right now. I was a bawling mess in the room. I was like, I could be without a leg. At 26, I was like, there's no way that this is going to happen.
Bryant was given IV antibiotics 20 hours a day and for 4 days, and the infection was finally taken care of. She is expected to make full recovery.
A Department of Child Services report shows 47 babies have been safely surrendered under the Indiana Safe Haven law since 2008. One woman leading the charge to bring awareness to the law says we're making some major strides in saving lives. Monica Kelsey is with Safe Haven Baby Boxes. Kelsey says that they worked on a case earlier this year where their attorney had to get involved to protect a mother's rights. The state sought her identity because that baby she surrendered was born addicted to drugs.
If we start prosecuting these mothers who are addicted to drugs, we're going to find babies in dumpsters again.
So we asked a local attorney if a baby born addicted to drugs could be an exception to this law and if the drug addiction is considered abuse. Well, she believes the law refers to physical abuse, and going after a mother for drugs addiction was not the intent of this law. But in the end, any decision to prosecute will depend on the facts presented to a county prosecutor.
The National Urban League Conference is underway in Indianapolis, and it is the first time in 25 years the Circle City has played host for the conference. Our Alyssa Donovan is here with us this morning. Alyssa, what is this event all about?
So this annual event is meant to help spread ideas, solutions, and empower change in urban communities. The president and CEO of the Indianapolis Urban League says he wants the conference to benefit our city in a big way. The Urban League held a kickoff party yesterday for the start of the conference. Much of the event will take place at the Indiana Convention Center. The civil rights organization works to promote social and economic equality to African Americans and other minorities. Indianapolis Urban League President and CEO Tony Mason says urban communities across the country are facing issues, everything from high unemployment, violence, crime, poor quality of schools, and health disparities. The conference is a chance to come together and collaborate on ways to address those challenges. Several events are on the agenda, including panel discussions, workshops, health screenings. The conference is also expected to have a major economic impact on the Circle City, with 20,000 people expected to attend.
Alyssa, thank you. At 6:36, the Colts clinched the wild card spot last year in the postseason. And this year, of course, we're wanting more. Training camp begins today for the team, and you can see all the action right on the field. Our Aaron Lish is joining us live this morning from Westfield at Colts camp. And Aaron, what should fans be excited about over the next few days?
Well, we showed you a few things. We showed you the Colts in motion, but guess what? We've got the Blue Crew here. So tell us a little bit about the Blue Crew.
The Blue Crew is a fan club for the Colts. We've been around for 21 years, do a lot of tailgating, do a lot of stuff with the community, and we just look to have fun and cheer on the team.
And it's really neat that we see all of this out here, being a part of coming out here to see training camp. How neat is that to actually be that close to the players?
Oh, it's great. I mean, you can't get any closer to the players than being at training camp, get a lot of autographs and everything. So it's a good time out here, and the Colts do a great job putting on a good show out here.
So I know people can come out here at 1 o'clock. It's free, which is awesome. You just have to get your tickets online. But something else that the kids can get here.
Yeah, so we got 300 firefighter hats we're going to be giving out today to the kids, starting at 1 o'clock at the Blue Crew fire truck. So if the kids want to come out and grab a hat, they can come out and grab a hat and maybe get an autograph on it.
Yeah. All right, perfect. And I guess, what are you guys looking forward to most this season?
Well, obviously, we're looking forward to trying to get into the playoffs and yeah, that Super Bowl trophy. I mean, that's what everybody's looking forward to. So we're expecting, a lot of high expectations, but we'll see where it goes.
All right, perfect. And hopefully, I got to get tips on how to get an outfit like this, guys. Again, you guys can come out here starting at 1 o'clock. Make sure that you bring a clear bag, or else you'll have to leave it in the car. We're going to have a lot more later from sports and everything. And they're going to talk a little bit about Andrew Luck. He's supposed to be talking today, so we'll hopefully hear what he has to say going into this season. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, and there's the Tony Dungy lookalike behind you there. Aaron as well, holding that Lombardi trophy. The weather, by the way, is going to be perfect if you're heading up to training camp there in Westfield. Also perfect to get out and walk your pet here this morning. Our featured dog of the day is Baxter, sent in by Jen. Jen says he likes popcorn and squeaky toys and his mom. So he's all ready to go for his walk, and we'll give you green paws here this morning from start to finish throughout the day today. No weather-related issues at all. The humidity is still low, lots of sunshine, and temperatures that will be climbing up into the low 80s. And you got to kind of soak these days in. I call them bonus days all the time, because look what happens as we push towards the weekend. Our average high is 85. We'll see our temperatures tomorrow still probably be in the mid 80s, but then for the weekend we jump up into the 90s. Then we kind of cool back off into the 80s as we head into next week. But the humidity comes up this weekend as well. More on that forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The governor of Puerto Rico is stepping down. What he did that caused a week of protests and eventually his resignation.
And keeping Monument Circle clean has always been a tough task. Just ahead in our Throwback Thursday, the crew that had one very sticky job. It's 6:40. We'll be right back.
At Ross. Yes for less.
Top lawmakers and the president are weighing in after special counsel Robert Mueller's long-awaited testimony. On Wednesday, he detailed his investigation and clarified its conclusions, while also facing questions about his credibility and methods. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the testimony a milestone, but still is holding off on calling for impeachment hearings. Meanwhile, President Trump saying the day of testimony proved that the investigation was a waste of time for the country. Mueller spent 6 hours answering questions, mostly sticking listening to the specific wording of his report.
At 6:42, the governor of Puerto Rico is stepping down. Last night, he announced his resignation after more than a week of protests. Governor Ricardo Rossello will officially step down on August 2nd. Thousands of people calling for his resignation have jammed the streets of San Juan for days. The protests began after Puerto Rican journalists published group messages between the governor and his inner circle that included homophobic and misogynistic language, along with jokes about Hurricane Maria victims.
We're seeing a nice break from the heat and humidity here in central Indiana, but that is not the case for people living across much of Europe. They're once again experiencing record-breaking temperatures. The records are tumbling across Western Europe, with new highs being set in France, Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. The high today in Paris is expected to be 107 degrees, which would smash the city's previous high. In fact, experts warn this extreme heat could damage the fire-damaged roof of the Notre Dame Cathedral and cause it to collapse. And that is
Looks
not
like they're
good.
working on it right
Yeah,
there.
they're working on it right now, so that would probably put them quite behind if something like that were to happen.
Thankfully, we've got that heat wave out of our way, and this week we've had wonderful weather. And Todd, you're saying that's continuing today.
Yeah, you know, today's another great day. We're just kind of carrying the nice weather from this week over. Some subtle changes. You'll notice the temperature today a few degrees warmer this afternoon than it has been the past few days, but the humidity still is low. That is the good news as you take a live look here to the north. As you can see, the north split there, Riley Towers and beyond, as you look up towards Hamilton and Tipton counties. 56 in Kokomo right now, as well as Bloomington, 62 in Indy. So the city running just a little bit warmer, 59 in Muncie. And here are some other temperatures in your hometowns. Bedford at 55 degrees. Crawfordsville, you've been our cool spot this morning at 51. It's 59 right now as you make your way up into the Muncie area. So here's how your temperatures break down throughout the course of the day today. About 79 degrees by 2 p.m., 84 degrees by 4 p.m., then still in the 80s at 6 p.m. with skies that'll be mostly sunny across the area. So get out there and enjoy the day today. You can work out either this morning or this afternoon. Yeah, obviously you'll work up a sweat, but it's not one of those days where you just step outside and you start sweating with all that heat and humidity across the area. So high pressure has been our best friend the past few days, giving us the sunshine, and we've had a north wind. Our winds have now gone calm, which is an indication that high pressure is almost virtually on top of us. And then as this high starts to move off towards the east, we'll turn our winds southerly, and that's what's going to bring our temperatures up in the coming days, as well as the humidity. But this evening, if you have plans, a lot of outdoor activities and fairs going on still all across central Indiana, and we're in great shape. 75 at 9 p.m. with your sunset at 9:05. 11 p.m. temperature to 71 degrees. Then come tomorrow morning, not quite as cool. We shouldn't see as many 50s on the board tomorrow temperature-wise as we had so far this week, but a couple of you could sneak in there, especially off to the south and east. About 60 in Lafayette, 62 degrees the overnight low in Indy. So for Saturday and Sunday, the humidity comes up as well as the temperatures. Both days feature hazy sunshine and not much of a storm threat. Late in the day on Sunday, there could be an isolated storm or two, but the humidity returns, and that's going to be the big issue heading into the weekend. Now, we are not talking about that real oppressive humidity like we saw over the course of late last week and last weekend, but nonetheless, it's another hot and humid weekend with heat index values that'll be right around 95 to 100 degrees. So kind of prepare yourself for that. It's quick how easily we forget about how humid it was over the last weekend and what that can do to you. So just prepare ahead a little bit here for Saturday and Sunday. As far as rain chances, they enter the forecast next week, Monday and Tuesday. It's only about a 30 to 40% chance of some isolated storms, though, that will be around. We are not expecting any widespread rain. These probably just be more pop-up storms here and there. So some of you could get a quick downpour. No severe weather is expected, but unfortunately, some of you could remain completely dry with that stretch of weather as well. So here's a very pleasant 7-day forecast. Again, the only speed bump kind of over the weekend with the higher temperatures, the higher humidity with those highs in the 90s, but at least it will be a dry weekend if you have outdoor plans.
Todd, thank you. We're making calls, keeping you updated on this interstate closure to our northwest, both northbound and southbound. I-65 closed near 38th Street. This is due to a vehicle in the northbound lanes running into a median barrier wall that caused a secondary crash. Both those crashes, along with emergency crews at the scene, are blocking all lanes of I-65 in both directions between Lafayette Road and 38th Street. Injuries reported there, and it is just a parking lot. So let's take a look at our traffic camera. This is what you'll see at 30th Street. Our photographer Eldon Wheeler just just says that he's stuck in traffic, about at least a 4-mile backup. If you're traveling northbound, you'll want to get off in the downtown area. I would say West Street or Meridian Street, because it is getting to be a big backup all the way back towards that area. If you're heading southbound from the northwest side, avoid I-65 altogether. We have that construction in the dog leg, so just don't even get on the interstate. Take 465 as a detour. We are going to continue to monitor this situation, but plan ahead if this is part of your commute.
All right, Lauren, thank you. It is something most kids want to try when they're at the airport. And take a look at this as this 2-year-old boy went for it. Yeah, he went for a ride on the luggage conveyor belt in Atlanta. Police say the boy's mother was trying to print out a boarding pass when the boy disappeared behind a ticket counter and ended up in a TSA bag room. Unfortunately, that little boy was hurt during his wild ride. He ended up with a broken hand. The boy's mother says she is grateful that he is okay.
Well, it is that time of the week once again where we dive into the vaults here at RTV6 and we take a look back to the past.
In this week's Throwback Thursday, we're taking a look at a problem that was taking over Indianapolis in the summer of 1979. That big problem, Lauren, a whole bunch of discarded chewing gum.
An interesting problem to have, and the Circle was actually fresh off a massive makeover that was completed in October of 1978. Well, so part of the renovation actually included the installation of hundreds of thousands of bricks. The asphalt pavement surrounding the Soldiers and Sailors Monument was removed and replaced with the more aesthetically pleasing bricks.
By summertime, it was clear the bricks were under attack, with people leaving their gum everywhere. Former Channel 6 reporter Reed Duffy caught up with the so-called bubblegum brigade, tasked with removing all that gum.
On the street, the gum takes on the appearance of splotches of tar, the result of being trodden underfoot. The DOT has employed various chemicals to make this task easier, including new improved gum shoe, now in an aerosol can. But few chemicals seem to make this sticky situation any easier for the men who have to cope with it. Officials urge the gum-smacking citizenry to dispose of their chew in the proper health-giving manner. One angle this reporter did not and will not pursue is the age-old question: does your chewing gum lose its flavor on Monument Circle overnight? I don't want to know. For the news, Reed Duffy, Channel 6.
Well, thankfully, the problem seems to have gotten better on the Circle all these years later.
But be sure to keep throwing your gum in the trash where it belongs. All of our shoes will thank you.
Yeah, seriously. You can see more of this story and all of our other Throwback Thursday stories right now at theindychannel.com.
All right, coming up, we have an update on a new way to keep kids safe at school. The reason Noblesville will be bringing dogs into their 3 schools. That's next.
Working for you. This is Good Morning Indiana. Working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:53. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. We're working hard for you on this Thursday morning, helping you to get your day started.
We have your top stories covered, and Todd Clausen is keeping a close eye on the weather. We do want to start, though, with a big traffic issue on the interstate.
Yeah, Meredith, let's take a look at the map right now. It is getting worse here. The backup extending on I-65, both northbound and southbound, closed between 38th Street and Lafayette Road. We had one crash that led to another crash. Injuries reported, and so you'll need to completely avoid this interstate on the northwest side. You can see where we have the construction in the dog legs. You'll need to not even get on the interstate southbound. Take I-865 to I-465 to reroute. If you're traveling northbound from the downtown area, get off before 30th Street. You can see the backups getting worse. I would get off at maybe West Street, even Meridian Street to reroute. And this is the parking lot we're talking about. The northbound lanes just starting to move a little bit. They've been stopped for about 20 minutes
time,
or so.
Yeah. So that is good that we're seeing some movement there.
Yep. We want to toss things over to Todd right now for a look at your forecast.
And it's a good forecast for us here throughout the day today. The skies are mainly clear this morning as the sun continues to get higher above the horizon, and it's going to be a sun-filled morning and afternoon for us. You notice the temperatures this morning still very comfortable. We're in the 50s in most locations, at 62 though in Indianapolis right now. We'll be in the 70s probably by about 10 a.m. as we get into the middle half of the morning. Where are we going for afternoon highs? Well, we're going into the low to mid 80s this afternoon with mostly sunny skies and low humidity. Alyssa?
Well, the National Urban League Conference is happening in Indianapolis right now. The event runs through Sunday. The conference is a way for Urban League affiliates and community leaders across the country to meet and share ideas and solutions to urban challenges. Most of the event will take place at the Indiana Convention Center. Registration is still open.
Alyssa, thank you. This school year, Noblesville is adding something new to help keep students safe. The district says funding from a referendum that passed last year will be used to pay for safety dogs. 3 Labrador retrievers and their handlers will be used for all schools. The dogs are trained to detect the scent of guns. Aaron.
Good morning. We are here in Westfield for Colts training camp, and this is pretty neat here. This is Colts in Motion. It has all this really neat memorabilia in here, and you can come here for free starting at 1 o'clock. You just have to get your tickets online at Colts.com. This is a really neat opportunity for you and your family to come out here, do the 40-yard dash, see all of the neat things here, take some pictures. Colts will be starting their practice at 2 o'clock today. Make sure that you are wearing plenty of sunscreen, and if you are bringing a bag, make sure that it is clear, or else you'll have to leave it in the car. We're going to have more coming up on the news tonight on RTV6, but for now, back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. Indy Park's pools will be available to help you stay cool. Garfield Park and Frederick Douglass Park are going to offer some weekend hours through Labor Day. 2 pools will be open from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, most weekends in August. The Douglass Park pool closes for the regular season on Saturday and will reopen August 3rd for the weekends. Garfield Park closes for the regular season on August 4th and will reopen on August 11th. And Todd, the pool sounds like a pretty nice place today.
Yeah, it will be a great place to be later on this afternoon. Anything outside, for that matter, will be in great shape with mostly sunny skies straight across the board. 77 by the noon hour, 84 is our high temperature. And then for the day tomorrow, a little warmer up to 88, but the humidity is still fairly low tomorrow. But you'll notice the heat and humidity over the weekend as it comes up. Highs right around 90 both Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us. We're going to be back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and those traffic updates.
And remember, all your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app. Stay updated with us online. Thanks for watching.